So this is the house that I grew up in, actually. Right here you can see, and I haven't been here in a long time, and I just drove into the neighborhood and it feels like a time capsule almost. It feels kind of weird. I think I literally see one of my old neighbors up here. I might go say hey to him. But like now in my life is a time where I think I was supposed to be graduating college right now, getting my first job. I mean, in this economy, I would say most people that age are probably still living at their parents' house after they finish college and they get their first job until they get a raise or get something substantial enough to be able to pay them enough to get their own place. But for a lot of young people, that doesn't really make sense right now. And now that I'm back here at the old house in the old neighborhood, like it brings back a lot of memories. And specifically, I want to tie it to like entrepreneurship and that type of thing, because if it wasn't for entrepreneurship and that kind of thing, social media, I would not have been able to have generated over 3 million in sales by now, have the biggest digital dropshipping community in the world, the best community in the world, and be able to like do what I do for a living. It's the biggest blessing in the world to be able to use social media, spread positive messages, share the things that have changed my life, and just connect with like-minded people, because it actually all started here in this neighborhood and at this house because my group of friends here that I grew up with, you know, as I started getting to like middle school, you know, it's kind of an awkward stage, but I started getting really into like Vine when it was a thing and social media, and I started staying inside more. I started just hanging out in the house there. I'm gonna try and find a picture of my room in there, the setup I had. I think I have a picture, but I would stay more in there, and I found that like every time I would hang out with my friends around here, I felt like at that age, I felt like they didn't want me to be there. Like I didn't feel like I was fitting in. Like I just kind of always felt like they didn't want me there. And I actually one time had someone like, I remember showing up to a place and someone was like, oh, why'd you invite him? You know? And I just felt like very unwanted, and that made me become even more of a recluse and wanting to like just be on my, you know, on the internet basically, because people couldn't see me. People didn't know my age. They didn't know anything about me. I could just be an internet persona and, you know, just hang out there. And that was like something that allowed for me to like really just kind of do what I wanted to do and not have to feel like I was unwanted. And it's really interesting because, you know, most very successful people, like the very, very successful people that you learn about, they always have some type of origin story. Maybe they were abused when they were younger. Maybe they have some type of crazy story that led them to always wanted to be like the best and the most competitive and the most successful. But, you know, honestly, I never felt like I was really that was never me. I wasn't that person who was like had this like super crazy story. I was just someone who felt like I was unwanted, so I wanted to you know, do something else. I can see my old neighbor's coming over here right now, actually. I don't know if he's trying to say what's up or what's going on, but we'll see. He's coming here right now, actually. So, give you a second. Hey, Dad, how are you?
Get the hell out of here. I'm like, I have to go.
How are you?
Go say, man, I love your car.
Thank you. You want to drive it?
Who you were?
You want to drive it?
I'm afraid.
What?
No, I can't.
Oh, man.
How you been?
Good, just busy. I was just in town for a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna roll over here. I haven't been over here in a long time, and yeah, it's good to see you here.
How are your parents? I'm like, you don't see a car like this in the neighborhood very often.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah. So, if you... Hey, how's it going? So, one of my old neighbors stopping by. He's visiting the old neighborhood. I saw his beautiful car, and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is. I gotta go tell him he has a nice car.
Yeah. Well, I came out because I was like, where's that part? So I can't get out of the way. So, yeah. So, my name is Debbie.
I'm Tanner. It's
Nice to meet you, Tanner.
Yeah, this is the house I grew up in.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I love the house. It's great, but I'm getting ready to sell it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you want to buy it?
How much you selling it for? Maybe.
I really am going to sell it. I've done some stuff to it.
Okay, I was gonna drive to this place and then tell you what just happened, but honestly, I can't wait. I need to tell you now. I'm like sweating right now because we're outside talking for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. But that was pretty crazy, honestly. So I saw one of my neighbors down the street, but he went inside. And then I saw another neighbor, old neighbor, he started walking up to the car. I was like, oh, you know, maybe he's going to think I'm some random person up to something no good. And he came up to the window, and I said, hey, Dan, because I know him. I haven't seen him in a very long time. And he says, no way. Like, he's like, wow. And he ended up coming up to the car because he's into cars. He has his own BMW that he takes to the track up in Virginia. And he wanted to check out the car. And then, so it's me, so we start talking. And we're talking outside in front of my old house that I grew up in. And then the lady there came out, and I got to meet her. She's sweet, and she tells me, like, oh, they're actually, she's going to be moving out of that house. And she's like, maybe you want to buy it. And I was like, let me get your number. Like, how crazy would that be? You know, if it makes sense, it makes sense. You know, I would not live there. I would turn it into a rental property. So if the numbers make sense, the numbers make sense. But she also just said, like, if you want to come look at the house whenever you want, let me know. But then I got to see my other neighbor there. We're talking and just kind of catching up and talking about things going on in the neighborhood. Because I haven't lived there in over almost 10 years. It's been 9 years, I believe. But we got to have great conversation, and I think it's very different, and maybe you have experienced this as well. When you see people as an adult that you only saw as a kid, it's a very different experience because you feel like you can actually talk to them and have like a real conversation. And, you know, as an adult, it's very different. I'm about to get to this parking lot here so I can get my thoughts out. Oh no, don't tell me this place is closed. That would not be good. We will be closed. Oh, they're closed to the 6th. I'm cooked. Well, anyways, I can complete the video. I was talking about being in this environment where I felt like I didn't fit in, so I started spending my time and doing other things and ended up you know, building a business and doing all of this stuff that I always dreamed of. And like I said, I don't have like this crazy story of some crazy trauma that I went through. I think there's some small things that just led me to want to live my own life and do my own things without having to worry about what others think of me, if they want to hang out with me, if they don't want to hang out with me, but instead kind of becoming this person that, you know, only had to be validated by me. I don't need the validation from other people for me to feel good, for me to work on something, for me to live a successful, you know, quote unquote life. But instead, making it in a way where I know that only I can do the things that are going to validate myself. The way I validate myself is by doing what I know is right for me. You know, the routines, the business, the taking care of my health, taking care of others. Like, to me, that is how I can validate myself. Because otherwise, if I only get validated based off of, oh, if this guy thinks my car is cool, or if this guy thinks I'm in shape, then you're never going to feel like, I would never feel satisfied. I would never feel fulfilled because I would do everything for other people instead of myself. And as much as you may think someone else is your best friend and they really do care about you, you know, maybe they do, but they don't actually care about you as much as you can care about yourself. Only you can know what you want out of your life and what you want to do. So it's completely up to you to do that, because everybody out there is say like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Whenever you get the results and stuff, they'll say they're proud of you and all this stuff. But like, the same people that are going to cheer you on here and there whenever they see a result are the same people that behind the scenes, you know, they don't actually want to see you doing better than them. And this just goes for you know, 90% of people that are going to be around you. Like, if you're in your journey of entrepreneurship and kind of finding your way and making your way through things, eventually you're going to find like this inner circle of people that really do want you to win, and you'll be in an environment of people that want you to like actually win. And I did that by, well, using social media. Like, there was people I connected with on Instagram and stuff that we ended up meeting up in real life. And over the years, like, this is kind of like narrowed down into a very small group of people that are my closest friends, that are like family, that I trust and love, and vice versa. And these people are people that, what's mine is theirs, and vice versa. And these are people, even some of them, like, they're way more successful than I am right now. Like, they're just absolutely crushing it. And for me, that's a benefit because I learned so much from them. I get so much value out of this relationship, and that's not even the purpose. It's just, like, as humans, we connect with other people. We're friends with people in different situations. Like, we don't define someone by their results or what car they drive, but we define people and build relationships based off of people and how they are as people, because deep down, we all connect on like that very, very, like, bottom level there, just like human to human. And I think that's the best way. And in entrepreneurship especially, I know for me, I used to try to build relationships with people that had certain things that I never had because I wanted to be around those things. And now I look back and I'm like, that's kind of fucked up, right? To do that. But like, that's what I did just because I wanted to get around this stuff, and I ended up getting around this stuff. And then that helped me like realize basically like, oh, if someone else could do it, I can do it too. And then I was able to start, achieving my own things. Now look, like, I don't think that's maybe the best way to go about it. That's just what I did when I look back at it. And I was like, it's kind of interesting take, but it wasn't even in a way where it's like in a bad way of being manipulative. It's almost as if like the stars kind of aligned with just knowing that you want something so bad and that you're going to do it no matter what. It's kind of like for you right now, if you care about cars, if you care about Ferraris or whatever, a lot of people that look up to these cars will be scared to go into the dealership confidently. They'll go into a dealership, immediately kind of be like a fan almost, just taking pictures and stuff, and then the salespeople will treat you like that, like, oh, you're just someone that's just looking around, versus like going in there with confidence and having a genuine conversation, building a relationship with maybe someone in sales, so that way, in the future you have a relationship, and that just brings you a step closer to when you do own one. Like, I think you have to get on the same wavelength as these things that you're interested in. If that's massive business success, that's helping people, if that's getting a car, buying a house, doing this, doing that, if you're doing it for the betterment of those around you, and like, you have to be on that same level. Like, if you want a Ferrari, but you can't walk into a Ferrari dealership and be confident and look around and like as someone who would buy a car, then you're not going to get a Ferrari anytime soon. You have to be on that same wavelength and be comfortable with it, because otherwise you kind of go lower on this totem pole of like just this desire state. Which desire is like a low frequency state, because you're basically saying that you're ungrateful for where you're at now and you just want something else, and you're not actively working towards it, and because of that you're not going to get towards it. You just stay in a state of desire. So I think that's something that I had to learn how to do, was go from this state of just wanting something to actually working for it, and just having that in the back of my mind, like, okay, this is basically going to be a byproduct, and when I get there, I get there. And for me, I think the most valuable thing to me in the world right now is, I'm several years into entrepreneurship. I'm grateful for where I'm at, because this is where I dreamed of being at when I lived at that house before. But I'm not where I think I should be, but I know that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, because I'm the one responsible for every action and everything that has led me to this current moment in time, both good and bad. So now that I know in the future, there's a lot of things I want to get done, because I'm not where I want to be. I feel like I should be further. But it's because of my own actions, my own things. There's no other circumstance or thing that I can put blame on. And if I did, that would only be of detriment to me, because that would mean that I haven't taken accountability. So the thing that I think is most important to me right now is, one, like, I had to get sober. I had to stop drinking, getting high, eating all this junk food all the time. Like, I had to get clear on myself and what I actually wanted to do. And for me, I love just documenting my life and my journey here, and sharing the things I'm working on and what I'm doing, like almost more than the things themselves, because I feel like as a kid living in that house, I would watch a lot of vloggers on YouTube, and that was a popular thing. I would watch vloggers and YouTube channels, and I felt connected to those people. And I don't necessarily want to be a YouTuber. I want to be someone that can leave a positive impact, positive, everlasting, positive ripple effect on the world. And I think the only way to do that is for me to become the best version of myself and then give that person back through the content that I'm sharing. And as I learn things, as I progress, I can continue to share these things with you guys and others and build this relationship. And I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to do this because I feel like right now I'm kind of being the person that maybe I needed to hear from when I was, the kid living at that house before, because it wasn't until several years later after moving out of that house that I started getting some breakthroughs, but then I was fumbling it because I was getting into things that I shouldn't have. I didn't have any, accountability around me. I didn't have anybody to tell me what to do with the money I was making or what business decisions. Like, I didn't care to build the biggest company. I didn't care to do this, to do that. Like, I was just this kid that started making a little money on the internet somehow, and then I started like getting into stuff that I shouldn't have, but that I was supposed to. The same way how like I grew up believing like I was supposed to go to school, go to college, get good grades, then get a job, and then have a family and buy a house. Like, the same thing happened outside of that. Like, I was supposed to make some money. I was supposed to then start getting into partying and doing these things and just, living life, you only live once type of thing. And that's kind of like what I felt like I was supposed to do. And I kept conforming to that. And for so many years, up until 2022, like, I was essentially conforming to other people's decisions and choices for so long. And until I became so independent and worked on myself, I then was finally able to be the person that could lead myself, that could be confident in my own opinions, my own decisions. And with that comes better results in everything else that I've tried to do, business stuff, whatever. So I just like to go to bed knowing that I'm doing the right things. I kept my word to myself and that I kept my word to other people. It's probably the biggest thing. A lot of people say, I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m. They set an alarm. They snooze it. They wake up 9 o'clock. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Same thing with diet. Same thing with starting the business. It's always, I'll do it tomorrow. But why would you put off to tomorrow what can be done today? The more you do that and put things off is the more that habit is actually instilled into you and your life and what you do. The more you do the opposite, vice versa. Like, that's the only way you can actually build massive progress, and is by making something that seems abnormal to you now normal. And the way I've done that is by, the same thing my shirt says, consistency wins. The same thing as my license plate says, consistency wins. By simply doing the things that are boring over and over and over. And that started with me losing weight to then applying into business stuff. I promise you guys that I'll document my life every single day on my Instagram stories, and I do it. Because I made a promise. And when the way I operate best is when I have a structure that I need to follow, and I follow it. That's just what works best for me. I set a structure that I like, and I follow it every day. I stay consistent. Because I know that it's very easy to fall off and miss a day on something. I used to be that person that would miss a day on something. But now I try to lead by example, by giving myself a framework that I have to follow every day, but also something that other people can see and be like, damn, this guy doesn't miss. I want to be able to look back at this point in time right now in August of 2024 and be like, good job, Tanner. You actually used that point in time as a stepping stone to move forward into where you are now and what you're continuing to progress through. I don't want to be able to look back at this time and say, oh, wow, Tanner, that's when you were crushing it. That's when you were killing it. That's when you were in shape, the good old days. Hell no. I hate that. I think it's so dumb. I really want to be able to look back at this point in time right now and say, Tanner, you're doing the right things. You used it as a stepping stone, and now you're crushing it even more. Now you're doing even bigger things. Now you're helping even more people. Now just everything is exponential. And so I feel like I'm not, like, in my world of entrepreneurship and business and my history, I feel like I didn't start at that house is what I feel like. I feel like I officially started in 2022. That's when I was actually clear. That's when I was actually making progress. But the reality is, sure, I started something new, fresh, and it's been absolutely crushing since 2022. That's when I actually got in shape. That's when everything started making more sense. I got sober. But the reality is the years before should count too. I just fumbled it. It was my own fault, but it counts. I tried something. I got some results with something, but I fumbled it just because of my own personal habits. And because of that, I had to kind of start something new. I had to almost start over in a way, and that's on me. So I don't really know the rest of the point I'm trying to get at here. I think that's just about it right now. I've just been trying out these YouTube videos. If it helps one person in one way, I think it's helpful, but you know, I really do. I want to win. I want the people around me to win. I want the people who understand these messages to win, and just realize that if you don't know what to work on right now, you just work on yourself, because you can never go wrong working on yourself, and it's something that you can never do enough of. So I wish you all an amazing rest of your day, and go call your mom and dad if they're alive. Tell them you love them. Call your grandma and grandpa if they're alive. Tell them you love them, and you know, be the best you can. All right, love you guys. Have a good day. Bye. All right, it's the next day, and I'm back because I'm going in the house.
This is so weird. Our little picture is taken right now. Isn't that crazy?
Hey Debbie, good morning. How are you? This is my sister Brooke.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
It may have not changed any, I don't know.
The laundry room where my hamster died?
This was my old room. Now a bedroom. Well, it feels...
Purple anymore.
My sister's here. The rooms feel like so smaller coming here now as an adult. But I had my bed up against that wall. Oh, look, my shelf's still up there. I used to have a little clock up there. Put all my Lego sets up there. Had my desk here. All right, we're leaving the house now. She was sweet. Her name's Debbie. She's sweet like a little Debbie.
She was so cute.
And, yeah, that's the end of this video. Goodbye. Now that I've had 20-30 minutes to kind of reflect on that, what just happened there, I can tell you that it's a very interesting feeling. Just like remembering certain memories of being raised in that house, and it feels very different. Like the house feels very small, like going in there as an adult, versus being there as a kid, where everything just feels like grand and giant and open. It's such a different feeling, but you know, it was a cool thing to be able to do, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy it. Probably not. Like the number just doesn't make sense for it, but I don't know. We'll see.